My name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and this is my father, Edward VIII, who married my mom's sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe, the artist. This is my dad, not the double that married Wallace Warfield Simpson. This is one of the doubles. There were several. It was a takedown of my father by the Illuminati. And here in 1939, when I was born, in 39, by the way, one of the attorneys left this magazine right by me. So this is George, the illegal six, Elizabeth's father, who helped take down his own brother, my father, with lies and character assassination. And nobody's ever bothered to correct history and tell that my father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe and remained so. So he never married Wallace. I was born in 39. And it was a plot to take him down, and they did, by the Church of England, Cosmos popes, by the U.S. Freemason Illuminati government. It wasn't enough that, in essence, they kicked us out 1776 and wanted their freedom. Here they take my father down. My mom's an American. My aunt is well thought of. Two of her paintings, she's in the top 10 that ever existed of artists. Two of her paintings went for over millions last year. Yeah, they tied her money up. They tied the O'Keefes up, Madison, Wisconsin. Okay, they moved to Williamsburg later. Anyway, I've told you who my mom is. She married my father. They've just deleted her from history, and they still have my father marrying Wallace Simpson and becoming Duke and Duchess of Windsor. A total lie. Total fabrication. I'm going to show her again. One of the doubles. Not my father. Nobody, Elizabeth or no one, has bothered to correct history. Now, I want to tell you this. They were planning my kidnapping. Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador to England by Roosevelt in 1936. The irony isn't that cute. That's when my father became king, Edward VIII. My father's name was David. Now, I wrote a book, and I didn't know about my kidnapping. I knew, but I couldn't verbalize it. I was told, I worked for doctors, that I always knew. So after I came up here, I was in a campaign. Larry Flint was shot in me writing about a book. I started writing in 76. Elvis Presley was killed, or they say he's not dead, but my thoughts are sad to say he is. His picture's on the wall out here where he stayed here many years ago. He had a concert in Roanoke. Now then, Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and this Hustler magazine, he flew me out to there in 83 when one of the doctors, Larry McDonald, I wrote about, was supposed to be on the KAL that was shot down by the Soviets, and 286 or 96 drowned in the ocean. It was a takedown to make it appear Larry McDonald was on it, Congressman Doctor, because I had links to him, Piedmont Hospital, and a lot of things. I won't put up here. I've suffered more and more, and unbelievable. Anyway, Mr. Flint says here that I knew who was responsible for his shooting. I don't know if you can read it, but I've put it up here before so many times. Where is it here? I can't even see it, so I guess you can't. Well, it's right here. He's talking about Murphy, and anyway, he endorsed me, and it was April of 84. There was another endorsement, but I've lost it, and I wish I had kept it. Anyway, I was writing about mind control murder, so let me get that in. This young man at Sandy Hook, and you can hate him all you want to, he was programmed to kill his mom, Then he was programmed to go in and kill the children, and then I believe he turned the gun, a rifle on himself and shot himself. He was programmed just like the Virginia Tech. How many times do people have to be told what is happening? It's done with signals. Mind control is. They teach you the Morse code. Now, I don't know how it's done now, but anybody else is coming up with this scenario, I don't know. You can fool everybody. You can put it up, because I've been dismissed and I've been put in hell so many times, and I'm sick and tired of it. My goodwill is really on the brink, but then that doesn't matter. You can come back and say something to me all over again and condemn me for something. By the way, I want to put this up too. This is Snowden. Edward Snowden. Snowden as in Elizabeth's sister, Margaret, married Armstrong Jones, I think was his name, a photographer, and they gave him the title of Snowden. So they're taking his name. I mean, he did this, and he was exiled for telling the truth, was Edward Snowden, but that's why they chose him. It was done in patterns. Edward after my dad, and Snowden after Elizabeth's brood, where she has had them marry into the wealthiest over there. So if I were ever to come home, I'm not welcome. So they've got me and done things to me that are so hideous, and my children, Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me. So this young man, as the others of Virginia Tech, you can take the plane down like Congressman Larry McDonald. You'd think U.S. Congress would have all this, be telling it instead of me. Now, back to this. This was sent up to me after I came up here, and I was living on the Appalachian Trail, so I wouldn't hopefully get raped. I'd rather live with the bears, the snakes, and the mad raccoons, etc., and no food and freeze, than on the side of the road walking from one place to the other at midnight and people calling your names. I was shut down by law enforcement. They helped when they were told. They hurt when they were told. So this was sent up by a church here that knew about me. It's called Implantable Biochips. And my friend asked me, I guess about the only one I have, I hope he's a friend, why didn't I keep the book? Because I couldn't carry the few things and go up on the mountain, no food, no nothing. I mean, just anyway, finally got a backpack, but you can't keep it all in that. Now, this is one I'd already told about, Timothy McVeigh. He fought in your army, and nobody cares about him, yet you can go, I'm not even going to say it anymore. This man died, was put to death. He says here that he had a chip implanted in his buttocks by the U.S. Army. He was in the military. Timothy McVeigh, Oklahoma City bombing. And yes, it was done in patterns. Here's where he says that about the Army. Everybody knew it. Watched him put to death. Okay, on the other side, Project Lucid, and it's talking about chipping people. I was talking about putting chips in people, mind control, programming them, MK Ultra, which President Trump, who I like, by the way, I may be wrong, but I like him. I certainly don't like Pelosi and all these bums. And why aren't they telling you all this instead of me and trying to take down Trump? Anyway, President Trump's uncle, John George Trump, was an MIT grad. Supposedly he had all the Tesla files, which this is nothing, create an illness, cure it, and programming. This gets into really other stuff, that the Illuminati that kidnapped me, Freemasons that control your press. It's the end times. After they took my dead dad down, I want to remind you the timeline and all this, because I didn't know I was writing about this, but I wrote all this, and they sent it up there and said, this is what she's been telling, that I've been telling. My dad would not go along with allowing treaties to be signed. They're all illegal. And That allowed the United States to come in with the military, and still today they'll tell you they were doing us a favor by taking my wonderful father down, kidnapping me and torturing me and doing things to my babies that are so sick and vile. I hope the world has to fall over and faint and watch it. So help me, God. Now where am I going? It is so hideous. I've told you about the mind control. That got me when I speak of my children. Anyway, the United States went in, their military base. I mean, this is in front of everybody, underneath the United Kingdom. They're in every country, but let's just take the Australia, the Aussies. Oh, you know who Julian Assange is, don't you? I mean, he told the truth. He knows about me and was trying to help me too. Now, he's in Snowden. Look what happened to him. He's exiled. You don't hear about him. And the only crime that Julian Assange has ever committed is telling the truth and doing the right thing. He is a hero of all times. And to treat him like this is sick beyond belief. So now then I said that. This was about the prophecies, Project Lucid, chipping people, Mark of the Beast, the Illuminati. Chipping is putting chips in people, mind control, and then you take the internet down and everything, and what are you going to do? You're going to have a chip in you and swipe the candy machine. You won't even be able to get your deeds or anything then. Okay, I've told this. So what do I want to tell next? I told about the mind control murders. Virginia Tech was one of them next door. And he was programmed to shoot himself. He was from South Korea, shot 32. And, you know, the name in here, if I can remember, and I forget it right now, is, oh God, I did. Stack. Yeah. The young man that was shot named Stack this name has something to do with all of it. But everybody around here knows that your ex-governors that are on the intelligence and judicial committees, your doctors, lawyers, your state senators here, Huntsville, Alabama, and Georgia. And if the rest of you don't know, it's because you don't care. And that's about the size of it. So now I know there's something else that I wanted to say here. Oh, I've just put up, and I've put this up over the years, but I've just put up about, the title of it is, the governor now of Virginia is Ralph Northam. Now, he's a pediatrician, doctor, physician, pediatrician. And I don't know if he's good or bad. I always saw him as good, or I don't know anything bad about him. But recently, you all know that this big to-do, and they were going to take him down. He was not fit to be governor. And then the big deal came out about the lieutenant governor, Fairfax. And he is a African-American. Let me get that straight. Every one of you have done things to me that are so sick and vile, but don't let me. African-American. By the way, I'm the one, well, I'm not even going to say it back then. I was always, and now you look at what has been done to me, and part of it was by the African-Americans, or American blacks, I'm going to say. Because that's who, I don't want to put Africa in this, because that's who you all were going after. The Illuminati, JFK, who helped kidnap me, etc. Now I wanted to get to this before it goes off. The governor, Northam, all this big, they were going to make him resign as governor. He wasn't fit. There was a photograph put up about, supposedly in one of his annuals. I think it was a military annual next door at Lexington. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But it was an annual, maybe high school, where he had a black face. I don't even know, that's some kind of paint or something. I don't know what it is. But they took it as offensive, that it's racial. God knows the crimes that are stacked against me and my children and country. And no, you didn't save us from the Germans. The Germans saved me And it was their technology that come over and built NASA with British money and technology trying to save me. Is different ways to use ransom money. United States says they don't pay ransom. They sure the hell collected it off of me all my life and tortured me and my sons. So don't tell me that. You've lied and gotten away with it, all of you have, and some of my own people who are so rotten to the core that I would not have a place to go home to if I were able to go back to England. I haven't committed the crime. I've told you all this, and now then, you want to take a governor down who was a pediatrician for putting something in the annual years ago, and the list of crimes every day that are so hideous done. No one's ever been taken to court, to task, or made to pay for any crimes they are committed ongoing. Just like a letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation is ongoing crimes committed against me, and God help me. Please let my children be okay. So you can take a governor down for a photo and a picture, annual, which if you look back, I've told you about Gonzalez, the sorry sot, who raped his patients and killed a couple of them, tried to kill another patient. You have to, excuse me, you have to first diagnose the patient right, or you're guilty of misdiagnosis, you're guilty of rape, and of using pills that are not meant at all for this person. It's a license to kill. Diagnosis murder. Nobody's been held accountable in all of this. They talk about the rapes and all this that are going on now. You have not gone back and looked at Victor Gonzalez, Huntsville, Alabama. He was at Parkland when JFK was shot. He was an intern. Then he was in Atlanta, waiting in Atlanta. And out of his own mouth, he killed 2 others because they told about him raping. And that's exactly what he did. I'm going to leave it here. You can do all this to me and who I am. But you can take the governor of Virginia down. And by the way, you haven't addressed Reverend Andrew Young, who was mayor and ambassador to the United Nations, which is your front, after you took my father down, for the global government, the Illuminati. The friggin' end times, right here. And you hate me for telling you. I'm an outsider. My mom was an American, but hey, I'm telling you all this, and most people, some of you don't, some of you have been friends on YouTube, so I'm not including you. Don't think that for a moment. But there has only been a handful. The rest of them hate my friggin' guts, and I could go into yesterday, and I've tried to, but I didn't put it all up, because you know what? They make it worse on me when I put the truth up on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm going to leave it there. So there's no need of telling it. I've told it all. I'm 80 friggin' years old, hoping I get to see my babies, and I can't even see or hear now. But you can take the governor of Virginia down, or try to, because he did something years ago that you consider biracial. Oh, yeah, I was told that too, who Harry was going to marry. Yeah, back in 2010. So now that you've put somebody else doing my job, and you've done every vile act in the book, and nobody's ever been held accountable for anything. It's ongoing today, and I've just uploaded some of that. Over and out.